Beat demons in your ear.
Why did you mute me? Hello, everyone. Welcome to BeatStars Academy. My name is Jamil. Today I am joined by Levi Beats. Today we're going to be talking about tracklists, all the different ways that you can use tracklists on your pro page to help you make sales. Really excited. It's going to be a good show today. We're going to be going over some of the different ways, obviously, that tracklists can really help segment your pro page. We'll be going through that. We're going to be looking at Levi's pro page and be giving you some examples of things that he's done. And then we're going to have a quiz at the end for a chance to make official BeatStars Academy playlist. What's going on, Lee? How you doing today?
Yeah, all good. Excited as usual to be a part of this show and share some gems with people. We did speak about tracklists previously, I think, on one of our shows before. But it came to me and Jamil was thinking, and we realized that maybe it's a feature that's kind of, I guess, not hidden on BeatStars, but we think it might be a feature that's maybe not utilized as much as maybe it could be. And we just want to share with everyone why we think it's a good tool and a good feature to utilize on BeatStars. And obviously there's tons. We have albums, we have playlists, but there's so many different ways that you can utilize your tracks and the material that you've uploaded into your account in a really good way, and with some of the tools that we already offer. And I personally don't see it being used that much. I mean, maybe the chat, they can tell us if you guys and girls are already utilizing the track lists and what your experiences have been using them. Actually, when we was talking about it, me and Jamil, I was like, you know what, I actually should personally, me as a member of BeatStars as well, should be utilizing it more too. And we're going to go over some of those reasons why today. And I'm sure a lot of you guys and girls, do a lot of outside of the box thinking, where you can find different ways of utilizing the track list. So yeah, I guess we can just get started on it and kind of, I guess, take you through how to create a track list, how to get them to appear on your pro page, and what's the differences between the track lists, the playlists, and the albums, because they're all quite similar, but they have different functionalities. So and Jamil is going to just be chiming in on some of this stuff that we're going to be talking about today, which is cool. So let's go. I guess we can start. But firstly, congratulations. I don't want to say congratulations for, but yeah, welcome everyone. I'm seeing some new faces in here as well, which is cool. I'm seeing some normal faces in here. So yeah, hope everyone's looking forward to today's show. Get my words mixed up already. And obviously stick around to the end of the show, like Jamil said, for the quiz. So let's go.
Sure. And again, don't be afraid to ask questions, whether you're watching on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, Periscope. Feel free to drop any questions you have about today's topic, anything you see on the show, or anything else on BeatStars. We'd be happy to answer. We can see everything right here. So we'll try to get to as many questions as we can.
Yeah, I just see a mention, so I got distracted there. Ben says, is it me or did Levi change his signature color on us? I was like, yeah, it does look like a bit of a different color today, but I think I've got a ring light over in the corner there, because I'm trying to bring a bit more light into here, and I think it's changed the color slightly. Yeah, so hopefully that answers your question. Totally unrelated, but anyway.
Yeah, it looks kind of pink instead of the signature purple. So.
Yeah. Cool. Anyway, let's let's get going.
right.
Let me share my screen. Let's go Chrome tab. Let me know once you can see it. Hopefully you can.
Yep.
Cool. So this is my account, and we're going to head over to the tracklist section. So first you need to go to under your My Media, which is where most of your stuff you'll find. Then you've got this section that says your content. This is where you find your tracks, track lists, albums, and so on. So we're going to click on track lists because that's what we're going to do today. You have a default list, which I think is another thing that maybe people don't also see or utilize. And this is a way that you can change the order of your main list that appears on your pro page and on your marketplace page as well, profile. So you can actually go in just whilst we're here, actually. You can just go in and change the order. It's quite easy to do. You can just grab and move stuff around. So yeah, just thought I'd show you that quickly.
Yeah. Most people keep it at the default, which is just like by date of upload.
Yeah.
But as always, you can address that. If there was a beat that was doing particularly well, and you want to keep it towards the top of your track list, you can go ahead and change that there. Kind of like the same thing that would happen if like you pin a beat or if you repost, it would be featured in your feed again. But this, it doesn't affect the feed. What it does is it affects the actual order that the beats are shown on in your track list. So that's the way to do that.
Yeah, and it's a really cool feature actually, and it's probably something else that's probably not utilized so much. Like Jamil says, you can feature the track if it's one particular track that you want to feature at the top of your main track list, not on your feed, but your main track list that people come to see on your profile. But if you, for instance, just wanted to have, you've got some beats that run really well and they get good traction, you might just want to put them to the top. Of course, people can come to your page and there's an option to filter. You can do that. We just might as well quickly show people that quickly. But if you go to, so this will be the main track feed we're referring to. Obviously, people can sort by, top selling, most played, that kind of stuff. You can use that filter. But the default is what we were referring to, is what that track list will be. So you can change the order of that if you wish to do so. So yeah, just whilst we're there, might as well announce that. But I've already created an actual track list already, but we can create a new one, and we'll just call this Jamil's Beats, even though they're not Jamil's.
There we go. All right, cool. I'm assuming that I have full autonomy to pick whatever beats I want to go on here. So I'm excited.
You can. Let's go for it. So once you've created it, you can, of course, add some artwork to it. And all you do to do that is you just, like, all the other places where you upload artwork on the platform, you can just upload some artwork there. There's a couple of things in here that you need to make sure that you've clicked if you want it to appear on your pro page, and we can show you that. But we're going to just go in, click on it, and we're just going to add some tracks. So this is where you add your tracks. You need to go onto the actual track list itself to add the tracks. Okay, Jamil, pick a few tracks. You've probably not heard most of these, but pick a few.
I would like to put Raspberry Ripple 200 times, if that's possible.
You can search, yeah.
Yeah, you can search. So let's get Raspberry Ripple in there. Let's get Peaches and Plums in there.
Okay, let's do that one.
I forget. I think it was. I forget which one that I was using for the intro song on my short-lived podcast. I think it was Peaches and Plums that I was putting on my podcast.
Was it? Why is that one not showing up? Let's just type in Peaches.
Oh, because you had the with hook, and then you had it was and. That's why it wasn't coming up.
Oh right, yeah, that's why.
I think you can go ahead, just add a few different ones. Those are just my favorites, whichever ones you want to.
Head to toe, 10 out of 10. Waterbed, paper bag.
Victoria's Secret was one of my other.
Oh yeah, okay. We've got quite a few in there. So we've just created this list. So obviously you can see that you can create a track list based on anything that you want. You can add any kind of type of beats in there. We're just adding some random ones. Most of mine are going to be R&B. So I could have technically called this R&B R&B beats track list or just R&B beats, but we're going to call this Jamil's beats because these are his favorite ones. Air quotes. Let's just add one more because I've got OCD, so just make sure that it's 10. But you can add as many as you want. And that's that done. Then we want to come out, go back to track lists. And as you can see, it will just default to some of the images that you're gonna have for your track images. But I'm gonna actually change this. And I'm gonna go to edit because we want to do some other changes in here. I'm gonna click on that. And I don't know if I've already got some here. I'm not sure. No. So I'm going to have to choose some from my computer. Should have just uploaded one already, but it shouldn't take too long.
Let's see if there's anything in the chat.
Yeah, there's any questions? Yeah. Okay. I need to find out where all these images are now. Just going to add just some random image track artwork. Let's just add the Victoria's Secret one, right? So we're going to add that in there. Now, to get this to feature on your pro page, you're going to need to select this featured button, right? And you're obviously going to need to make sure it's public too. So we're going to click save, and that's the track list done. That's one. So you can go in and create tons of track lists. Now with track lists, unlike playlists, track lists don't appear on your main marketplace account. And the cool thing about this is that you can, cater this specifically for your pro page where you want to direct all of your own customers to, right? So obviously, as you know, it doesn't appear on here. You get your playlists and you get your albums and stuff, but track lists do not appear on it. So we're going to show you where they do appear. So we've set it up. We've made sure that we've selected as featured, and we've also selected public, right? You can also utilize this for Blaze players as well, by the way, just so anyone that's using Blaze players, but pro page, obviously it's going to work on there. So we're going to go to my pro page and just save us jumping off screen. I'm just going to hit that directly. In fact, I think it's just going to take me to another screen anyway, right? So let me just type it in. Easier. I think I might have this already set up, but I'm not sure. So hopefully it's not. So no, we haven't got track lists showing up on the main feed, right? Currently we have this is the main track list, right? Where you can go in and change. This is just the default one. Then we've got the licenses, we've got the merchandise, we've got the services, and we've got the albums, right? So albums also appear on your pro page as well. So there's two ways that you can utilize the track list actually on your pro page itself. Like people can access it in two different ways. They can access it from the main page, which I'm going to show you in a second. I just want to show you this first version of how you can access it, right? So you're going to go to your main tracks. So whatever you've called it, I've just called it beats. And then you'll see this filter on the far right-hand side. And if I scroll down, I can see I've got this Jamil's beats, right? I've disabled the R&B one because I'm no longer using it, but I'm going to bring this up. And now that is going to show me all of the beats that I've added in that track list, which is really cool. And the cool thing about this is that you can actually just direct traffic to this link. You've now got a direct link to share with people of all these specific tracks. Now, we're going to tell you in a little bit why this is super cool and why this could be useful to you. But let me just show you how to also get the track list to appear on the main page as well. So you're going to need to log in to your account up there at the top. You're going to want to head into the main customization section, and then you're going to want to go to your homepage sections, and then you will see a section that says track lists. And basically, you just want to enable that section, right? And now what should happen, if I click out of customize, this track list should now appear here. There you go. So now you've got this track list that appears directly on your main page, and you can go in and move these around, as you know. I'll just quickly show that. But if you kind of similar to how you move the tracks around in the track list, you can also do that here as well. So I can just grab the track list, and I can, you know, if I really wanted to, I could bring it all the way. I could make that kind of the first thing after my licenses. You kind of always want the licensing info to be kind of the top. But now you will see that that's moved. So now I've got the track list directly under there. You could move it to the license above the licensing section if you wanted to. Let's just try that just for the sake of it. And now you've got your tracks here, and then you've got your track lists. So I think from understanding, I've not actually tried this yet, but I think you can feature up to 3 or 4, kind of like what you similar with your merchandise, which is cool. So you can have all these different track lists with the artwork and stuff, which is super, super cool. Now, so as you can see, you've got 2 different places where you can get access to them. I'll just go back and show you. I'm just going to actually, obviously you need to make sure that you select publish once you've enabled that section, because otherwise only you will see it and it won't be publicly available. So let's just click publish. So I can change this later if I want to. And now when anyone visits this page, my page, it's going to show Jamil's track list there, right? So the cool, and what we want to touch on now, and I guess Jamil can chime in here as well, is why we think that this is really cool and how you can utilize this to your advantage. And there's many, you know, marketing integrations that we offer on BeatStars, including, you know, email marketing specifically in this case, where you can send out, you know, an email blast to your customers with a specific track list. It could be something like, you know, your best beats that you feel like best beats of 2021, for instance, or it can be based on a seasonal thing. It could be something like, you know, you're doing beats for Halloween. So you're now then able to actually put that link of that track list within your email thread when you're sending out this email blast for your email marketing, right? And that's just one of the examples that you can do. There's so many different things you can do. Also now, because you have a direct link, you can actually use that link to create adverts. So you can utilize the, you know, platforms like Facebook and Instagram and Google that most of you guys and girls are already utilizing. And now you can actually advertise a complete whole track list based around a specific, could be anything, could be a specific genre, it could be a BPM type. You could just decide, hey, like I've got, I don't know, 25 beats that I'm only offering as an exclusive license. You could, you know, just have an exclusive license only track list. And the reason why I say that is, me personally, sometimes I have artists or clients reaching out and they're only interested in exclusive licenses only, for instance. So you could create a track list based around that. It could be like some old beats that you have that, you know, you're now deciding that you're just going to want to, you know, let go for exclusive only. Or you could, you know, create other different licenses. You could create unlimited licenses only, or you could just create a basic MP3 license. Like, so you can see that this is really endless what you can do with this. And I'm sure, as I said at the beginning, that you guys and girls can think of other ways how you can utilize this in your beat selling business and some of the other things that you can do based around just track lists alone. I think I've, you know, covered quite a bit there. Did you have like anything that you wanted to add to that, Jamil, about, or do you have any ideas of other ways that you could actually utilize the track lists in some way, you know, if it's email marketing or, you know, adverts or something like that?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you basically covered like a lot of like you know, the umbrella of it, right?
Yeah.
But I think it would be really cool to get into like some specifics or some examples of what you can really do. I see Cloud9 was talking about a couple of good examples in the chat. I think one of the interesting ways that I think a lot of people can do today with their track lists is create a track list centered around an artist, right?
Yep.
We've talked a lot about, segmenting your beats and making it easier for customers to, to get from like point A to point B, which is just like being able to easily find your beats, being able to listen to them, and being able to purchase them. People are a lot more likely to purchase beats that are interesting to them. Some producers kind of have like their niche where, there are some producers who only make Drake type beats. So that's all kind of streamlined when your store is only one thing. But I think for the most part, a lot of producers on BeatStars like to experiment with different artist type beats or different genres, or even or music made for different purposes, like music for recording artists. They might have beats for that they're looking to use for sync licensing.
Yeah.
So, I think at the end of the day, what Tracklist really allows you to do is to be able to basically kind of like create different like segments within your store. Yeah. If you're in a brick and mortar store, there's the men's section, there's the women's section, there's the children's section. So your beat store doesn't have to just be like a big list of beats.
Yeah.
If you want multiple people to come into your store, and if you have music set up for different types of people and different types of interests, then you should be able to direct them to the right place, right?
Exactly.
Whether it's through your own communication or whether it's through being able to find things by easily browsing. I think
you said some valid points there. It's like I was just thinking of an example of how this looks. Say you're going. I always use like the superstore kind of like mentality. Say like Walmart, for instance. You go into Walmart, right, and you're looking for. You don't really know what you're looking for. But then something sparks your interest, because you look at the sign at the top and it says, "This is like the world foods aisle where you can go and get like specific stuff," or like this is the biscuit aisle, or this is the clothing range aisle. Like you said, this is the men's clothing area, this is the females' clothing area, and it's like, I guess it's kind of a way that you can just direct your customers directly easier to a specific catalog. So if you look at it like this, it's like a mall, and you've got all these different shops within a mall, because you're a producer and you've got all these different different products that you're selling, and now you're able to direct people directly to that specific portion of the store, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. And of course you can do that with playlists and stuff like that, and obviously, there's the albums feature as well. But I think Tracklist, just because it gets featured on the pro page as well, you're directing traffic. That's your personal store as well. I just think it's such a cool feature. Again, like I said, that maybe not many people are utilizing, and it's not hidden. It's definitely there because you can see it's right there on the My Media section. But I think maybe we're so focused as producers on just the main tracks. But there's things within BeatStars that you can utilize to your benefit. And if you're, thinking outside of the box stuff, like kind of what we said and what Jamil was saying, focus it based on a specific artist, like a specific BPM, even a specific genre, which is quite common. Like I said earlier, seasonal as well. You could just base something around a specific season, and you saw how quickly it was to create a track list, right? It was super easy. So I just wish people would utilize it a little bit more, and I really do hope, like after today's show, that people really do see the benefit of using it and what it can actually do for you,
right,
in terms of directing customers to your beats easier.
Right. Another thing to consider about Tracklist that kind of differentiates it from playlists, like obviously, as we said, that Tracklists are, a feature for your pro page. Playlists and albums, obviously you can have like the heading sections on your pro page for it, but at the end of the day, it is somewhat separated from your main tracks. The cool thing about Tracklists is that it's integrated within the tracks page of your pro page. So can you bring that back up again, like
Yeah.
the tracks page of the pro page, and then we can kind of just like point out what this is going to do. Obviously, you know, people might browse in different ways depending on how like computer literate or technologically experienced some people are. Like some people may look at this like, you know, this main top menu, right? I think, okay, there's beats. It's kind of hard to read from. I think. Do you have albums or do you have?
I've called it beat packs.
And then there's beat pad. They go, okay, beat packs. What is that? They might click on it, but some people might just click on beats, right? Like they go, okay, I want beats. Let me just look at beats. And then now you see all these filtering. You see all these filters in the top. So when you look at the different track lists, you know, it's not just something that you could send the link to, which is obviously very effective, but it's also a lot more easily like. It's just more easily visible for people that are browsing your page that you haven't even had communication with yet. So that's why I like Tracklists, just because it's so conveniently located within the tracks page or beats page, if you want to rename it. That, you know, it'll just make things easier for people who are browsing.
Yeah, agreed. And that's kind of what we were saying is like, yeah, easier browsing. It's easier to direct people straight to a specific part of your store. So they're not just, you know, especially if you have, I know a lot of producers on BeatStars, you know, are very good at being consistent, and they're uploading, you know, tons of beats a week, or tons of beats a month, I should say. And you've got all of this stuff on your store, and your clients come to your store and they're so confused because there's so much to look at. And the cool thing about having this track list on your pro page is not only are they not tempted to look at other beats from other producers because they're focused directly on your beats alone because they've come to your pro page, but now you can filter that out even more and help them even more, by the way, by just offering them different ways to get access to certain styles or certain specific based on whatever you decide to use. And me and Jamil was actually talking about this before, of how would you decide what type of track list to create, right? And we already give you the email marketing integration that you can utilize. So you could actually set up an email campaign and just say, hey, what type of beats are all of you looking for at a specific time, or what is sparking your interest, or what artists are you currently listening to, you know, what artists are inspiring you to write music and stuff like that. And then you can once you've got that, you know, you've asked your clients that are in your email list what whatever question you decided to ask and you got the answers to it, you can then say, hey, like, I'm getting a lot of people that are saying they're really listening to Bryson Tiller right now and they're getting really inspired, like he might have dropped a new album or something, and they're really liking that vibe. And then you can go through all of your beats that are, you know, Bryson Tiller type beats that you've tagged with that metadata, you know, and then you can create a whole track list based on that. And then you can go back to your clients and say, well, as has it, I've actually got a whole complete catalog of Bryson Tiller beats right now. Like, would you, you know, feel free to take a listen to them. Like, maybe they might spark your interest as well if Bryson Tiller is currently sparking your, you know, your creativity and stuff like that. So yeah, I think it's again, you know, I think it's you know, along with utilizing other tools within BeatStars, this could be a really useful feature. Yeah, I think, and just going over some, like, just to give you guys some examples of what other ways you could use this. We've mentioned it previously, but you know, we said artist type. You can also do it by a trending artist type, so you can do some market research, like charts. Say, Lil Baby's, you know, been at #1 for the past 5 weeks or something. You could create like a track list just based around that. We mentioned BPM. You can do that. You can also do it by genre, which we mentioned. You can do it by license type. You could also potentially, and we've spoke about this before, if you have a clientele that's in a specific part of the world and they're, you know, the currency ratio doesn't quite work out, you could create a whole complete pack of beats that are, you know, that you've priced in a specific range that will suit that specific clientele. So for instance, you could maybe just like have a bunch of beats that are set for $10 for a basic license or something, and then you could create a whole track list based around that. You could do a whole track list that are based around the bulk deals that you're offering. You might only offer certain tracks that are, you know, specifically within those bulk deals. You could say, hey, like all of these are currently in my bulk deals, and anything else that you can think of outside the box. Like just to mind, Jamil, I know we've mentioned a lot there, but can you think of any that any ways that you could use track lists in that specific way?
Right. I think just to kind of expand on some of the things that you were mentioning, thinking about creating track lists based around like trending artists, or trying to like create track lists based on what your direct audience is interested in. These things don't really have to be guesswork, right? They're actual tools that you can use to figure these things out. Obviously, you can look at your like free download data. You can look at your purchase history to try to figure out which group to put a particular customer in, whether you want to put them on your list to be able to send them Bryson Tiller, or you want to be able to put them on your list to send them Justin Bieber. You don't have to guess. You can ask. You can just reach out to them. You can ask. You can create, like Lee was saying, you can do an email blast. Something that I think would be very useful that people should consider doing is just sending out like a poll. If you have like 4 or 5 main artist type beats that you're working on, or you're planning on working on for, let's say, the next month, you want to make beats like this for the next month. You could ask people like, of your dedicated mailing list, like,
yep.
Like which one of these are you interested in? And, maybe you might have to offer them an incentive, like a free download or something, or a coupon code to be able to get that info back. But that information could end up being really useful, because if you're sending people the right things, then they might make a purchase for it, right? Sometimes it's like, unless people are checking their BeatStars feed every day, there would kind of be no way for them to know that you have a new post for something they're interested in, unless like you tell them. So, find a good balance for it. Don't be emailing people 10 times a day, but figure out if people are interested in buying from you, then they're going to want to hear from you.
Yeah.
So just take all those things into consideration. As far as like looking at, as far as like trying to figure out which artist might be like popping soon, I would recommend using Google Trends. We're going to be having, what happened to leave out? There's going to be a video coming out within the next few weeks on our channel about using Google Trends. But there's multiple ways that you can use it to kind of figure out what's going to be coming up, and kind of like, make like real educated estimations and approximations of what kind of search volume there's going to be for any particular name or keyword. So there's ways to do this. It doesn't all have to be guesswork, and you can find real results. I think I can show Google Trends really quickly. We have like an extra, I think, 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Let me just kind of show.
Wanted to touch on something that you said, which I thought was a really cool thing to think about. Like we obviously don't not only offer you the option to use email marketing, so you can do those polls and ask questions from your current clients, people that have purchased or downloaded free beats, or they've subscribed to your mailing list. But you also have the stats data that you can utilize. So if you do have free downloads set up, right, those people already downloaded your beats, so they're going to be in your mailing list, right, because you've selected the email as an option, right? Now you can go in and check out all of your, say for the past month, all of the tracks that have been downloaded for free, right? And then all of those tracks that have been downloaded for free, you can create a track list. Sorry, I keep saying playlist. You can create a track list with all of those beats that have been downloaded for free. So you already know that people have already paid interest in those because they've downloaded them for free, right? Then you can then send that out in an email blast because those people that are in that email, in your email marketing, have already downloaded those beats already, right? So I think that's another way that you could kind of use other parts of the platform to help you, like Jamil said, not just guess how to create this track list, but how to utilize the information that we already provide you and the mailing list to determine what you're going to do and how you're going to create these track lists. So I think, yeah, I just wanted to touch on that because I think that's a really cool point.
Right. Okay, so I can show quickly a couple of examples of the things that you can find out with this, right? So, I think without using Google Trends or without looking at actual data, I think a lot of us would assume that if an artist releases new music, then that means search volume for them will go up. And if an artist hasn't released anything in a long time, that means search volume for them will be static, right? All these things are just kind of assumptions until we actually look into the data. And it's not all one size fits all for every artist. Certain artists can create more traction when they release something. Certain artists could release something and no one cares. There's no way to really know unless we look at the actual data. So let's just take a look at something really quickly. So let's, for example, say that we want to, we make Drake type beats, right? So we want to figure out exactly what kind of keywords that we should use for Drake, and are people interested in Drake right now? So let's just put Drake type beat. What this does is kind of show the interest over time. It breaks it down depending on what kind of filters you have.
Yeah.
So you can have for the past year, you can have for within different sections, I guess, or classifications within Google, or you can search for the entire web, or you can search through Google Shopping, or you can look through YouTube. I think a good approximation of what we're looking for in terms of where people search for type beats is probably more so on YouTube. So let's just use that as our search, our search engine, right? So we got Drake type beat here. The interest, I mean, it's in the middle. It rates everything out of 100. So 100 would be maximum interest. And 50 would be medium. 0 would be no interest, right? So it looks like as of late, it's super high. So when we look at these peaks and values, we kind of really want to see where they come from, what happened around that time. So it also shows you some related queries to see what could be popular in comparison to it. What I want to do is, instead of just saying Drake type beat, let's see Drake beat. Okay, so you can see Drake beat is overall a little bit more popular. You could look at some of the other related queries for each one. So it kind of shows you what these look like. It shows that J. Cole type beats are up 180%.
Oh,
so
wow.
You can go and add that to the comparison. So this is where it gets interesting, right? You would see J. Cole type beat and see that it's up 180% and think that means oh, I need to make J. Cole type beats right away. But it's up 180% compared to J. Cole type beats. When you compare it to something like Drake type beats, it's still not really even getting close. So even if two artists have releases or two artists are, sparking interest at the same time, it's not going to be equal. So you kind of want to look for the things that are the most popular. Let's add Lil Durk to the comparison. And Lil Durk is more popular than both of them, right? So Lil Durk would be at 100 in January to February. And let's see if we can do a quick search for, can you look up Lil Durk and see if he had a release in this week?
Yeah,
I'm guessing that might be something that happened, right? So you want to look at these peaks and figure out why they happen. in order to do like your next guess. There was one particular search that is going to be appearing in the video that we make, which is for I think it was like laugh now, cry later. Hold on, let me see. Let me show that example. Let me put laugh now, cry later. Instrumental or something.
No. Okay.
And then let's look at.
There was I think there was something dropped on the 31st of May by the looks of it from Lil Durk.
Oh, so nothing for Lil Durk around that time when he was at around 100. So I mean, if there was no release and he was still that popular, then that you could probably assume that he's going to continue to be popular regardless of a release.
Yeah.
So you just want to look at those things.
It could have just been something that, like, he may have dropped something called social media, or him and his management may have done some like crazy marketing campaign. It could be anything. It's not necessarily always based around, if someone's dropped any music specifically, right? It could
exactly.
Most of the times it's going to be based around that because, as soon as someone's dropped an album, they're going to technically be searched more. But it could be, like I said, it could be just like marketing. They could have just posted some crazy video on Instagram and it's just popping off. Or it may even be a case that, and this sometimes happens, by the way, is that an album's released and then all of a sudden it goes wild overnight on TikTok. Like, there's tons of people doing videos and dancing. So then people are searching more because, they're more prevalent at that time. So, yeah, I mean, this is a super cool tool. And I think, Jamil made a good point because the comparisons tool part of it, I think, is the most important part of this Google Trends tool, because you could, like Jamil said, you looked at J. Cole, he's jumped up like 1,000% or whatever. Oh, that's the type of style I need to start making, kind of like what you said. But now you're comparing it to others, and actually maybe he jumped up 1,000%, but he's not actually that popular compared to someone else. He's being searched more, she's being searched more,
Right.
Which is
cool. So
cool.
we could see that like Lil Baby is, every time we add a different artist using these like related, it's just like more and more, just getting more and more popular in the last 90 days. Like for example, like over here, Lil Baby was at a 99 on July 27th. So did Lil Baby release anything? Like, what did he do? Like, how did that happen? These are the things that you kind of need to investigate. Because it's usually not random, but if they're consistently really, really high without doing anything, then that might be, a genre you might want to explore.
Yeah, actually, just out of interest, because we know that Nas just dropped a pop project. Ben Lupin mentioned that. Type in Nas and see if he comes up to the top.
Right. So Nas, so you can see, let me get rid of these so you can kind of see what happened.
Yeah.
Because it's interesting. Okay. So Nas did have a release, which made him go on August 7th, which was a few days ago, up to 27. So he did have like a peak, right? Like this is higher search volume than usual, but still overall, it's not really reaching up to, I think this one is Drake type beat. It's not really kind of comparing. So there is a higher level of interest, but it's not comparing to some of the other things that we looked at. So, everybody has their own peaks and interests for their own standards. But are you looking, do you want to look into the angle of being like really specific and reaching a particular niche because there's less competition? Or do you kind of want to get into the game of whatever there's the most eyeballs on? Yeah. So it's kind of up to you how you want to do that.
Yeah, and kind of taking it back to the track list that we was talking about, you could go through your catalog, okay, and then you can see, okay, I have Drake type beats, I have I have Nas type beats, I have J. Cole type beats, and I have I don't know, Jamil type beats, right? Let's just say that. And then you go and put all of those into Google Trends, and you can actually see, oh, so okay, so actually Jamil type beats are really he's going to test it now, are really doing, huh?
Literally 0 searches. That's not doing too good.
But yeah, like you can compare and you can go, okay, so I could create a track list based off of Drake type beats, because those are out of all the beats I've got in my catalog currently, those are the ones that seem to be searched for the most. So you can see where you can go with this here, and why Jamil wanted to show you this Google Trends tool, because you can utilize this directly in line with pretty much anything you do on a BeatStars platform in general, but specifically like we was talking about today with Tracklists, which is super cool. Just out of interest, like type in, I don't know if it's going to work, but Levi Beats type beats. I don't even think that's going to come up, but that'll be.
We can just search for Levi Beats. It doesn't.
Yeah,
I mean,
let's
like,
just do that. Yeah.
I mean, so Google Trends is something that I think a lot of businesses use just like in their marketing. But I mean, this is something that's just kind of like sneaky. I don't know. I'm thinking of things and I'm typing them. But it's something that's, you know, really useful for producers. Let's just see if anybody searches for Levi.
Probably not.
Not compared to Drake. So you're not at the level of Drake just yet, but you're
That's
getting
fine.
there.
I can take that.
One more quick thing. So to give like a real concrete example before we go to the quiz of two releases at the same time, let's look at Pop Smoke and Vince Staples. They both had releases at the same time, which was about a month ago, right? So let's remove one of these. Pop Smoke, type beat. And don't just think of this as searching for names or artists. Think of this as comparing type beat to instrumental, you know, or the name of a track. Yeah. You know, this like, you know, you can compare the same things just to see which ones are getting more interest than others. Yeah. And then let's look at Vince Staples, right? Both released at the same time. So you would think theoretically that there's high interest for both of them. But what the results will, it's showing up 0. It's not really working properly right now, I don't think. I don't know why it's showing it like this.
You've got past, is that 90 days? Oh yeah, so you've selected past 90 days.
Past 90 days, YouTube search. Okay. It's just being a little funky right now. But what I wanted to show is that Pop Smoke on the release date of what they do, it should show Pop Smoke as much higher than Vince Staples. They both have little peaks. They both have peaks for themselves, but Pop Smoke's peak is much higher. You'll be able to see that in the final official video about Google Trends. It's just not loading right now for some reason. Yeah. But that's a good segue that we can get into to talk about the quiz. So let's go ahead and let me pull up. Let me stop sharing this one. And let's pull up the Kahoot.
George Life is giving away tips to how he answers the questions quickly.
Oh, yeah.
But I just want to give a shout out to everyone in the chat. I see a lot of you, you know, chiming in and helping each other out, and that's really cool. And we really appreciate that, because, you know, helping each other out in the community is a really cool thing that we like to see. So just wanted to shout out to those that are offering advice. There was, I think someone was having trouble setting up his track list, and now he's managed to do it. And also shout out to those that are actually creating track lists as we're doing this live, because that's super cool as well. But yeah.
Oh, you know what I did do wrong? I added an S to Pop Smoke type beats. I just needed to put the singular.
Oh,
you'll be able to see that in the video.
Okay.
But I'll do this. Oops, I previewed the questions by accident. Okay, hope nobody saw that. All right.
Yep, George Life just mentioned one there. Created one for his songs with hooks, so you can create a track list based on that. That's one we missed off as well. So that's a very good idea too. Good shout.
All right, everybody enjoy the quiz. Game pin 8394757. I need to switch my camera as I usually have to do. I'll be right back.
Transition. Jamil's transition.
You guys can still hear me, but I just need to. Where's my plug? Okay. Start cam. Oh, not the right camera. EOS webcam. I need to figure out how to not make that appear every time I do this. Camera, FaceTime HD. All right, now you got the side view of me, the side profile.
Yep, so go to www.kahoot, that is KAHOOT.IT, and you can enter the PIN number 8394757, and you will be able to join into today's quiz. And as usual, it's going to be about the what we've spoken about today. So obviously, track lists. Dun, dun, dun. This track is growing on me.
Yeah, it's like sneaky, like it has like an earworm kind of quality to it where I find myself hearing this as I'm going along my life doing other things.
Is it like 8-bit sounding? Isn't it? It's like that 8-bit like computer game, whatever they call it.
Kind of, but it's not up tempo enough to evoke excitement. You know what I mean? Like usually video game type beats will have like something to get you pumped up. Like, okay, I gotta run and jump. I gotta defeat this monster. But this song just kind of gives me like anxiety. It doesn't like make me excited. You know what I mean?
That's a strange way to look at it.
Yeah. Okay. It looks like we're stuck at 11. We can go ahead and start so we have time to finish the quiz. As always, you can join partway through. The game pin will be at the bottom right of the screen, I think, if you get disconnected. Tracklist. Top 3 winners will get playlisted. Let's go. Which one of these describes tracklists? A collection of beats that will appear on your marketplace profile. A collection of beats on the tracks page of your pro page. A collection of beats that will appear on your albums tab. Or beats that appear in your customer's cart.
Notice we got GIFs now.
Yeah, we're moving up in the technological advancements. All music related GIFs. If you can guess what the next GIF is, you get extra points. Okay, yeah. So the answer is collection of beats on the tracks page of your pro page. Other answers that people put were collection of beats that will appear in your marketplace profile. Track lists do not appear in your marketplace profile, only your default track lists. So as far as creating extra track lists to be able to segment your beats and to be able to deliver customers more specific types of beats, they're going to want to use your pro page.
Yep.
Let's go to the next one. Cloud9 on top with Consiglius and Rob. I almost put end quiz by accident. That would be funny. Okay. True or false? You can send customers a link to a specific track list.
We've gone kind of like with the dog theme today with the gifts. I didn't realize that before, but
yeah, we had Snoop Dogg and then a literal dog.
Yeah.
What kind of dog is that? Is that a Dachshund?
I don't actually know. Oh, wow.
Cool. I think this might be one of the first times we ever get like everybody got it completely right.
Yeah. That's
yeah,
cool.
you can send people a link to your track list. That's our personal favorite way to be able to deliver track lists. You want to be able to send out the right track lists to the right people that have an interest in that specific product to be able to make sales.
Definitely.
Ooh. There we go. All right. We still got the top 3 is the same, just a little bit switch in positioning.
Yeah. Well, the top 5 are pretty close.
How can you create a track list? In the tracks section of My Media, in the tracks menu, in the players section in My Media, in the tracklist section in My Media. The players section sounds like a section of the club where only players could get in.
That's very true. Yeah.
Have you seen that Dave Chappelle skit, the player haters ball?
No.
It's a funny one. I'll send it to you.
Yeah, I need to check that out then.
The code is at the bottom right. So game pin 8394757. If anybody wants to join partway through.
Oh,
that is true. In the tracklist section of My Media.
Everyone's noticing the gifts.
Yeah, what do you think?
Oh,
I don't remember which Star Wars movie that Yoda dancing is from. I feel like that might be like some kind of edit. You cannot create an ad campaign for a track list. I've personally seen every Star Wars movie, and I don't remember seeing that. So. Did you hear about the new Star Wars world? And like, I don't know if it's like, I don't know if it's in Disney World. I don't know what it is, but it looks kind of cool. But it's like super expensive.
I need to check that.
It's like a Star Wars hotel.
I'm a huge fan.
Oh, this one's kind of split. Yeah, no, you can create an ad campaign. Levi briefly mentioned it. I feel like we probably should have gone more into that. Maybe we'll do an episode about creating ads.
Yeah.
And stuff in the future sometime, and we'll kind of talk about different things you can create campaigns for. Unless there was a quick way that you could summarize it within a few sentences.
Yeah, the key to this question was you cannot. We like to kind of throw you guys off sometimes a little bit just to see if you're actually taking note and tuned in. So you can see it says you cannot create an ad campaign for a track list. So we're basically saying, is it true or false? So yeah, obviously in this case it is false.
All right, let's go to the next one.
Last question, double points.
Ooh. All right, top three hasn't really changed. Top three hasn't. Actually, no, it has. G Life is in now. G Life wasn't in it before, was he?
Miles Got Beats has gone up to 4th. Yep, still
okay. Cool. I think this last one is double points, so somebody can still sneak into that 4th spot.
Yep.
Which of these is not a way to figure out what your audience interests are? Why did we just put doors? We did this one first.
Yeah, we did.
And then we decided the gifts afterwards. But the 4 options are look at their purchase download history, create a survey, knock on their front door, or look at your BeatStars stats. Which of these is not going to help you figure out what your audience's interests are? This is the easiest question, guys. Come on.
Yep.
There we go. Okay, cool. Yeah, no, knocking on the front door won't be so helpful, especially since most of this is going to be through the internet.
Yep.
This is not going to be helpful. There's some people that you could probably sell to in Argentina. That has nothing to do with it. But yeah, no, you don't want to knock on people's front doors to ask them if they like little baby type beats. Probably not going to get too much valuable information from them.
No, yeah, you're probably not going to, like you say, not get too much information out of that.
Their place is raw.
You would get a lot of air miles, put it that way, if you was to knock on everyone's door.
Second place is G Life, and then I think I know who first place is. Cloud9 Music.
Cloud9, well done. Well done, sir. Congratulations everyone.
We didn't know we're like, okay, what happens next again? I forgot. Congratulations, guys. Remember to pin a beat to your profile. We're going to be adding your tracks to the playlist. I'm going to do it right now. I know last time I waited kind of a while to do it, but we're going to do that right now. And I think we'll be able to see you guys in 2 weeks. You can catch me tomorrow on the publishing webinar. I'm going to be there with Greg, and I think Dylan is going to be there, and Jasmine, if I remember correctly. So I'll see some of you guys tomorrow if you want to join for that webinar. And so then, Levi, you got any sign off words?
No, just like hopefully whilst I'm scouring your guys' pro pages, guys and girls' pro pages over the next few days, I'm going to see some track lists appear. And hopefully, I really hope that you, took some really good information out of this show today. And yeah, really see the benefit of using track lists. I know there's a few people in the chat already that I know that utilize them. So yeah, I just hope that you guys see the benefit of using them, and hopefully that we've been able to explain it into a way to you, how it's going to be helpful to you. So yeah, I hope everyone has a great week, and we'll look forward to seeing you on the next BeatStars Academy show. And make sure you stay tuned in for the rest of the shows.
For sure. We have what's it called, the Twitter Spaces probably.
Yeah,
right
that'll
now,
be
right?
straight after. Should be straight after today. Yeah. So.
Yeah, and if you guys are interested in learning some tips about promote, there's going to be a video up on YouTube called the BeatStars Promote Strategy Guide up within the next half hour as well. So stay tuned for that if you're interested in that, and we'll see you guys later.
Yeah, peace out, everyone.